Good evening. My name is Sean Gallagher, principal of Beverly High School, and on behalf of Mayor Michael Cahill and the City of Beverly, along with Superintendent of Schools Dr. Stephen Hershey and our entire school community, it is a true honor to host this prestigious event tonight and celebrate with all of you the fourth inauguration of District Attorney Jonathan Blodgett. We would like to welcome honored guests, state and local officials, court judges, fellow attorneys, law enforcement officers, school administrators, students, and fellow citizens to this ceremony. We would especially like and welcome and recognize friends and family of John and Judy Blodgett who are with us on this special occasion. At this time, welcome to the podium Reverend Paul O'Brien, the pastor at St. Patrick's Church in Lawrence, who will give the invocation.
So I just want to thank all of you who work with John. It's pretty unusual to experience justice in this world. There's a lot of great stuff in this world, and as you guys know, as well as I, there's so many bad things. To, on this planet, experience justice achieved is so rare, relatively rare, I think. And I've seen in the years I've been in Lawrence with your office, every little bit of good that you do to, whether it's a conviction or just the dignified way you treat victims, or the kindness that you show to people, any little bit of justice that you are the instrument of has, I think, an infinite value. And I believe as a person of faith that it becomes part of, there is eternal justice, but you guys are giving people a taste of it so often. So I think your reward is going to be great. And for the community, I thank you for all of your work. So let us pray. God our Father, thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the health that you've given us. Thank you for the intelligence you've given us. Thank you for the creativity you've given us. We ask you to inspire us as we move ahead to know better the truth, to seek justice more actively. We ask you for the gift of patience and the gift of selflessness. We ask you for the gift of hope. We ask you for the particular blessing of John as he enters into this next term of leadership. We ask all of this in your name. Amen.
At this time, let's welcome longtime friend of John and Judy Blodgett, Suzanne Kenny, who will sing America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, oh, spacious skies, oh, amber waves of grain, oh, purple mountain majesties, above the fruited plains, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears,
Please stand now for the presentation of the colors by Beverly High School Junior ROTC cadets, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by District Attorney Blodgett's granddaughter, Sophia.
Good evening. That's the heck of a way to start the night. And there's Sydney. She didn't want to be upstage. I was very pleased when Ed Davis accepted my request to be the keynote speaker tonight for my fourth term. Ed told me he figured out the secret early tonight when we met. He said, "I know why you want me here is because when I stand next to you, you look skinny." I said, "Well, that's part of it." But Commissioner Davis has gone from being a local, well-known law enforcement officer to a national, international voice. He is a graduate of the Southern New Hampshire University. He's received a master's from Anna Maria College. He has studied and taught at the John F. Kennedy School of Government. He began his career as a police officer in Lowell in 1978. He rose through the ranks and became a detective sergeant, a detective lieutenant, and then became the captain of the narcotics division in 1992, I believe. He was the commissioner of police in Lowell from 1994 to 1999. As I think you're all aware, in 2006, he became commissioner of the city of Boston. He served in that role honorably to 2013. We all know what happened in the marathon bombings. The city, the state, the country were grieving, shaken, a complete crisis of our well-being. One person in particular stood tall, was strong, reasoned voice, and brought calm to the entire city, not just of Boston, but all of us in Massachusetts and across the country. That is why I'm so honored that he accepted again my invitation. Please welcome, to say a few remarks, Commissioner Ed Davis.
Thank you, John, for that kind introduction. You know, I'm in a room here full of people that I've worked with over the years, and guys like John Finnegan and Bobby Champagne and Peter Carnes are up there, all former police chiefs, all guys that know me. They don't believe any of that stuff you just said. They know better. But you know, I'm glad that you brought up the marathon incident and everything that happened. And before I get into the speech about the marathon and leadership and really the kind of person that John Blodgett embodies in his work day in and day out, I want to thank his wife Judy for all she's put up with. And the time I was speaking to the father earlier in the back about what I miss about the job of police commissioner. I was 20 years both in Boston and in Lowell, 13 years in Lowell and 7 years in Boston. And we both agreed that those 3 a.m. phone calls get less and less interesting as time goes on. And so my wife, like John's wife, has had to put up with that for decades. And I give them a lot of credit for being there behind the scenes and helping us through. My wife certainly did that during the marathon and the crisis that occurred over those 4 days. And so now the trial is coming up in federal court. A jury selection started yesterday. I was there in the court on another matter, but I got to see the security and the press of the media and the interest, the international interest that still exists around that case. And I still find it surreal that I was in the middle of that for a period of time. It was both a tragic and an exhilarating experience to see the misery that these two individuals brought to our community and to the victims, and how important the victims are to any of our conversations around this incident. But I was also exhilarated by the incredible work of the men and women of the Boston Police Department and every other police department in Massachusetts that responded to that scene. It was truly a team effort. I deserve no praise beyond what those men and women did in hunting down these two individuals in 4 days. And you know, it had to happen. We needed to get these guys in custody. They were building more bombs. They were intent on hurting more people, and we were able to stop that with the one notable exception of Sean Collier, who was killed during our pursuit. All of that stuff happened. You all know the story. I don't have to recount it to you, but I can tell you that in retrospect, it was that teamwork and the whole feeling around Boston Strong that really made this something that you could bear, something that you could get through, something that you could be proud of in the way that the people in the city of Boston and beyond reacted to this terrible incident. And so now we are here for the swearing in of John Blodgett to his 4th term as the district attorney for 34 cities and towns in a tremendously important and historic part of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And John is the man that you look to for leadership and for guidance when tragedies occur. And they happen over and over and over again in this section of the state, just like they do in the Boston area and the Lowell area. And John is a rock. He shows up at the scenes, he gets on television, he says what needs to be said, and then he gets off television. And that's a very, very important trait for someone to establish credibility with the community. He tells it like it is. He puts the community back to where it's supposed to be, and he performs that leadership role brilliantly. And so just a year and a half ago, we drove through the streets of Watertown after we captured those guys and to the cheers of the public. And now a year and a half later, after Ferguson and what's happened since then, there's a very different feeling about police and about the whole criminal justice system. And why is that so? I would submit to you that the police are certainly the focus for the criticism that has been levied, and sometimes appropriately so, over the years in places like Ferguson. But when I sat in my living room and I watched that tragedy unfold, one thing was very clear. The first day the police chief got up and he said a few things. And the second day the police chief got up and he said a few things. And the third day the police chief got up and he said a few things. And each one of those days there were more and more and more media. And harder and harder and harder questions. And for 4 days, that police chief was standing at the podium all by himself. A police chief in a small town, ill-equipped to deal with the situation that he was dealing with. I can tell you, after having worked under district attorneys like District Attorney Droney, District Attorney Harshbarger, District Attorney Coakley, District Attorney Leone, District Attorney Tom Riley, I can tell you that that situation that occurred in Ferguson could not happen here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I'll tell you why. Because just like it was back last year, we are a team here when it comes to the provision of criminal justice services in this Commonwealth. I cannot imagine an incident of such gravity occurring and for 4 days, no district attorney, no attorney general, no governor standing up to try to deal with this situation. It would not happen here in this Commonwealth. And it has led to a firestorm of criticism, not only for the police, but for the criminal justice system as a whole. And it is a lesson for all of us to learn. And I can tell you definitively, and I can tell you confidently, that when I see John Blodgett being sworn in for his fourth term as a district attorney of this great county, that would not happen here. And for all of you assistant district attorneys who will be moving into positions of leadership, you can learn from this man. You can learn from these circumstances that have occurred around the country. And you are the people who are going to move into these positions of leadership and trust in the future. A former assistant district attorney that I worked with when I was a brand new detective became my chief of staff in the Boston Police Department and is now my chief operating officer at my consulting firm. The relationships that you make now, the lessons that you learn now, the people that you work with on both sides of the aisle will follow you through your careers. I want to wish you all the very best, and I want to take a minute to sincerely congratulate John Blodgett, my friend, and a guy I've learned a lot from on his 4th term as District Attorney of Essex County. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Please welcome Chief Justice of the Massachusetts District Courts, Judge Paul Dowley. He was named to the bench in 2001, and prior to that, he served as an Assistant District Attorney in Plymouth County. But most importantly, way back in the day, he was a teammate of District Attorney Blodgett as they played in the North Shore Baseball League. Chief Justice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege tonight to represent the judiciary and to administer the oath of office to District Attorney John Blodgett. Before I do that, I do want to recognize the prosecutors, the assistant DAs, the victim witness advocates, and the office staff of the Essex County DA's office. I can tell you that your reputation is tremendous among the judiciary. You have the respect and the admiration of all with whom you work, and I commend you for doing a great job. The role of the district attorney is critical to the proper administration of public justice. In striving to achieve a fair and just result, the DA possesses enormous power, as you know, over people's lives, liberty, and reputations. The prosecutor safeguards the rights of crime victims, ensuring that they're treated fairly and with dignity. In addition, he has an obligation to the general public and to the accused. As has often been cited by the Supreme Court, the role of the prosecutor is not to just win a case, but it's rather to achieve a fair and just result. Balancing these interests requires considerable judgment, skill, and experience. And often these decisions, as Commissioner Davis noted, are subject to particularly harsh public light. For 12 years, the work of District Attorney John Blodgett has never suffered from such exposure. He's a devoted public servant, he's committed to the best ideals of justice, and he's conducted himself with tremendous competence and integrity. Personally and professionally, John has worked tirelessly to positively impact the communities he serves and thousands of lives affected by his conduct. I'm honored tonight to administer the oath of office to him. I ask him at this point to step forward. Ask you to please raise your right hand. I, Jonathan W. Blodgett,
I, Jonathan W. Blodgett,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and will support the Constitution thereof.
and will support the Constitution thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Jonathan W. Blodgett,
I, Jonathan W. Blodgett,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as District Attorney of Essex County,
as District Attorney of Essex County,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
agreeably
agreeably
to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
and the laws of this
and
Commonwealth.
the laws of this Commonwealth.
So help me
So
God.
help me God.
I, Jonathan W. Blodgett,
I, Jonathan W. Blodgett,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
I will
States.
support the Constitution of the United States.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Before I say a couple of comments for Judge Dawley, my former boss and my predecessor who served as district attorney for 24 years in the honorable and competent fashion, and also as Secretary of Public Safety, Kevin Burke, has arrived. Kevin, if you stand. So Paul spared me. Principal Gallagher had mentioned that we played ball together. What he didn't tell you was that I was at the end of a mediocre baseball career. He was captain at Tufts University, played second base. His brother Tom played center field. They put me in right field as the old guy. The legs were gone, the arm was gone, and all I ever kept saying to Paul was, keep coming out further as a cutoff man. You gotta come out further. I kept waving Tom Dolly over the right center. So, a little confession is good for the soul. I now have the great honor of swearing in the assistant district attorneys who work so hard for everybody in this room and throughout the county. So I'd ask all the assistant DAs to please stand. After the pronoun I, state your full name. I
I, Kenneth Sonfield,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
thereof, so help me God.
thereof, so help me God.
I
I, Kenneth Sonfield,
do solemnly swear and
do
affirm
solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as an assistant district attorney
as an assistant district attorney
according to the best of my abilities
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
and understanding,
agreeably
agreeably
to the rules and regulations
to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution
of the Constitution
and the laws of this Commonwealth,
and the laws of this Commonwealth.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I
I, Kenneth Sonfield,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Congratulations. Chief Justice Dawley, Commissioner Davis, Father O'Brien, Congressman Tierney, Attorney General Coakley, Sheriff Cousins, Chief Justice Nectum, Attorney General-elect Healy, judges, mayors and legislators, superintendents, police chiefs, my family, my dad, my mom, my brother Tim, my wife, the fabulous Judy, my sons John and Ryan, my daughter-in-law Mandy, my daughter-in-law to be Danielle, my granddaughter Sophia and Cindy, and friends who are here tonight. Thank you all so very much for being here as I begin my fourth term as the District Attorney of the Eastern District. I want to give special thanks, she won't be happy with me, but special thanks to Carrie Monahan for planning every minute detail with assistance from Ann Reardon and Karen Dollar. Thank you for putting all the hard work into making this happen tonight. And a special thank you to Beverly High School Principal Sean Gallagher and every Beverly Panther who assisted and participated tonight. I chose this venue because I believe it reminds all of us why we serve the public. If we all do our jobs to the best of our ability, everyone benefits, particularly the next generation. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank two public servants who are not returning to elected office this year. And all the time I've been district attorney, they have been stalwart supporters of my office and the work that we do, but more importantly, they've become fast and true friends. I want to recognize Congressman John Tierney and Attorney General Martha Coakley and ask that they stand. So I am truly humbled and proud to be here tonight. The people of Essex County have once again expressed the confidence in me to serve as the people's lawyer. And that is something I do not take lightly at all. And I am so grateful for them giving me the best job a lawyer can have. I am proud of the work that my staff and I do each and every day on behalf of the people of Essex County. Together, we have met some extraordinary challenges in the third term, be it the drug lab crisis caused by chemist Andy Dukin, the Supreme Judicial Court's decision to grant parole hearings for all juveniles convicted of first-degree murder, or the record number of heroin overdoses, both lethal and non-lethal. And with each of these challenges, the staff of the Essex District Attorney's Office stepped up. The success of the Essex District Attorney's Office does not rest with the hard work of the staff, but also with the collective efforts of all of our community leaders. Since I took the oath of office in 2003, I've strived to engage other community leaders in developing strategies to make Essex County a safer place to live and work. Whether the issue was domestic violence, child abuse, elder abuse, heroin overdoses, insurance fraud, bullying, scams, underage drinking, gangs, or gun violence, my goal has been the same. Identify and engage other members of the community who share the same concern. To that end, I've come to understand more than ever that the concepts of community outreach and collaboration are critical in achieving our goals. I cherish the relationships built and fostered with the trial court, local and state police, our education partners, mayors, town administrators, and legislators. Without those partnerships, we cannot succeed. And speaking of the trial court, I need to acknowledge a friend of mine who is suffering a health issue and is handling with great aplomb and courage, and that is Judge Michael Lorenzano. He's called me every day with his typical sense of humor, demanding to know if we have food after the ceremony tonight. Those of you who know Michael know that the way to his heart is to his stomach. And I kid you not when I tell you that he called me every single day for the past 10 days, demanding to know what kind of food we were going to have, whether it was good, whether he'd like it. And when I wasn't present, he would hound Ian Reed with the same questions. Being a cautious man and somewhat prepared, I made sure that I got an extra large meatball sub, grated cheese, salt and pepper. It's still warm. And I promise I didn't do anything to it before I did. As a result of those collaborations, we have developed numerous innovative approaches to issues that have helped not only reduce criminal activity, but also have made for safer homes, schools, and communities. Through this collaboration, efforts such as the high-risk domestic violence teams, auto insurance fraud unit, Lynn Gun Court, drug diversion, the expansion of juvenile and youthful diversion, an annual school safety conference, countless trainings for police, educators, clergy, and other community members have been the hallmark of my administration and efforts I take great pride in. One of the more alarming problems has been the opiate overdose epidemic. It has plagued this county in the Northeast since I have been district attorney. In 2014, 145 people lost their lives to opiate and heroin overdoses. That is more than double the number of people we lost in 2013. Throughout my tenure as district attorney, my office has worked with community partners to develop prevention programs and to raise awareness in all communities of the dangers posed by prescription drug abuse and heroin. I look forward to working with our new Attorney General, Maura Healey, in fighting this scourge. When it comes to prosecuting drug crimes, I strongly advocate a two-pronged approach. One, treatment on demand for those individuals suffering from the disease of addiction, and two, the imposition of the harshest possible penalties to those who have made the conscious decision to traffic in the drug trade. As many of you well know, the Essex District Attorney's Office supports early intervention, treatment, and rehabilitation through our successful diversion program. Additionally, we provide support and assistance to the Essex Drug Court. These programs allow defendants who are facing minor nonviolent charges to seek treatment in lieu of prosecution. Our program offers these defendants this opportunity before formal charges issued. Upon successful completion of a treatment program, criminal charges are dropped. I recently attended drug court graduation in Lynn District Court, and there's nothing short of miraculous to see people who have been revolving in and out of the court system because of addiction stand before the court clean and sober. But make no mistake, these defendants are nothing like the ones who are charged with distribution and trafficking. Drug traffickers are predators who profit off human misery with absolutely no regard for the devastation they cause their victims or the neighborhoods they are destroying. It is for these reasons district attorneys need to retain the tools necessary to charge and prosecute serious drug crimes. Mandatory minimum sentences provide clarity, consistency, and transparency. These sentences are set by the weight of the drugs. What could be more objective and transparent than that? Please remember, there are no mandatory minimum sentences for drug possession in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and we do not, contrary to popular myth, warehouse non-violent drug offenders. This is certainly not the time to make life easier for convicted drug dealers. When I first took office, no one had ever heard of Twitter, Facebook, or social media. Yet today is an integral part of the way we communicate. But with these new advances come new challenges. In 2011, we successfully prosecuted a harassment case in which the defendants used the internet to relentlessly torment their neighbors for 2 years. The defendants used social media, email, and other electronic means to harass these victims with whom they were having a dispute. Recently, we successfully defended this conviction before the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court in a case of first impression. The Supreme Judicial Court agreed with our position that the defendant's speech on the internet was not protected by the First Amendment, but was rather criminal harassment in violation of the law. In my fourth term, I am confident we will continue to meet the challenges posed by both familiar and the unknown. The unknown we deal with as well, I think, as anybody. Today, not even 3 hours ago, I was in the town of North Andover responding to a triple homicide, horrific crime. Yet, that's what we do. That's what you've come to expect of us. We will continue to do the jobs as well as we do. We will continue to fight vigorously to prosecute crime, provide services and support to the crime victim, and to work with our community partners to prevent crime and connect at-risk young people with services. Through our new Child Advocacy Center in Lawrence, we will more effectively reach out to child abuse victims and their families. We are also looking to save taxpayers thousands of dollars by building the infrastructure to provide discovery, reports, and other necessary documents electronically. Lastly, to all of the employees of the District Attorney's Office, thank you. More than anyone else knows, I appreciate your hard work, your understanding that we are collectively serving a cause greater than ourselves, and that people who deserve justice rely on us to do that hard work and the right thing. Tonight we reflect and celebrate. Tomorrow we are back at it. Simply put, who has it better than us? You get to make a difference. It is my greatest honor to work with all of you. To my wife Judy, children John, Ryan, and Lauren, thank you for your love and unwavering support. It wasn't always easy having a district attorney as your dad, but you stood tall and you came through. Thank you all so much for being here. Godspeed. Less than an hour.
I just, before we conclude, I would just like to thank District Attorney Blodgett. He's helped our school districts out throughout Essex County, and as he said, he takes the lead in a lot of the same issues that we deal with, working with our young people during these challenging times. He's a courageous leader. We stand side by side with all the school officials in the school districts, and we work together to deal with the issues that plague our society. So on behalf of the school districts and the children and families that we serve, We thank you for your leadership, your support, but most of all, your friendship. Thank you so much. This concludes this wonderful ceremony. I would like to thank our students and faculty for their performance tonight. We give them a round of applause. Gary Monahan for all your help with the presentation. So please join us for refreshments. Will be served by the Beverly Culinary Club, and also our string quartet will be playing in the cafeteria, along with an art display from the Beverly High School Art Department. Lastly, I'd like to remind all the members of the district attorney staff to stay here, remain here for a brief photo. He's not going to put you back to work tonight. He's going to give you the night off after the photo right here. So thank you, good night, and Happy New Year to everybody.